I feel blessed and very grateful, you know, for everything I've achieved in my life, but where it's kind of got me to this point where I can actually feel content, you know, and I finally kind of understand what the word gratitude means, you know, and it's through becoming a dad and experiencing that relationship with my daughter, which is why the first song on the album is called Grateful, actually. And it was like the song that was a catalyst for the rest of the album.
Has it changed you then? And we're going to talk about. We're going to hear a little bit from the album in a minute.
Yeah.
Has it? It's changed you musically as well, has it? And what you want to sing about and how you do it?
I've always written about my experiences, but it was such a big experience and such a new experience that yeah, it was. That was something that was new for me, and obviously I had to write about it. I think that I've gone out of my comfort zone on this record. I've compromised a little bit in terms of the way in which I work, because I always used to work so uncompromisingly and
on your own, pretty much.
Yeah, and do everything myself in terms of like the lyrics. And I worked with people like Ara Benjamin and Foy Vance, who's also just become a daddy as well. It was the first time I kind of handed over that power, and I think ultimately it's turned me into a better artist and a better songwriter. And I definitely feel that this was the right time for me to kind of let go of some of that kind of control, because my situation in life was something I couldn't control, and therefore that kind of changed me in a way and calmed me down a lot more, and you know, made it more possible for me to be that kind of person.
So that's the kind of explanation.
This is one of those songs where
you've said it.
I wrote it with Foy Vance, and when we was writing it, I'd start singing and he'd say, "No, don't sing it like that, sing it like this." And he's got this really specific and unique cadence in his flow, and you know, it took me about 45 minutes to an hour to get my head around it. Ultimately, once we'd done that, it kind of brought out this different side to my voice. And so, yeah, afterwards, I'd be listening to it going like, who do I sound like here, you know what I mean? And I could, hear tinges of like Tina Turner, which was actually quite refreshing.
Not something you probably expected.
Yeah, it was unexpected. And, you know, throughout this album, I think there's lots of kind of nuances of music that I remember my mum and my stepfather listening to when I was growing up. No, that at the time I hated, you know what I mean? The way that we're trying to combat this crisis has not changed in the last 40 years. You know, I think there's a lack of empathy towards these kids because we just see them as bad kids. But no kid is born bad. You're born into a bad situation, and in turn that will make you act out in a bad way. And
you're involved in some practical work, aren't you? To try, you know, to try and give people something.
We're a part of the solution. We're not the solution. I mean, that would be impossible, but we're definitely part of it. And the charity is called Each One Teach One. And basically, we use music as a therapy to engage with hard-to-reach, marginalised kids that have been expelled from school. And we help to assimilate them back into mainstream education using music as a therapy. So I got expelled from school. I went to a pupil referral unit, or a PRU, called Tunmarsh Centre in Plaistow, and it changed my life. So years later I went back, because I left in year 2000. Years later I went back and we put a music room in the school and a music teacher, and I've continued to fund it.
And do you see some lives being turned around because of...
Big time, big time. We've had 25% of kids being enrolled back into mainstream education. That is unprecedented. It's never happened before.
You say you're not the answer, you're part of the answer. Thank you so much. I've run out of time. I'm very sorry.
Thank you for having me.
It's so lovely to see you. Thank you very much indeed.
Tina Turner.
The album is called, I never would imagine that. The album is called Heaven Before All Hell Breaks Loose, and you're on tour right now. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.